Welcome, everyone. Human performance technology is a valuable tool to be used within corporate learning environments and provides a suitable framework for improving learning. Specifically, e-learning has emerged as a critical element in corporate training and development. The convenience of learning from home and the value of a self-paced approach has allowed corporations to push out training faster than ever. However, the need to improve the effectiveness of corporate e-learning comes with its own set of challenges. Today, we're exploring the integration of human performance technology, or HPT, in enhancing e-learning and how this approach can address the unique challenges of e-learning and lead to more effective corporate training programs. HPT offers a systemic framework that not only focuses on training, but also on improving overall performance and productivity in organizations. Let's briefly discuss our agenda. In section 1, we'll start with an introduction to HPT, discussing its definition and relevance in today's corporate world. We'll then delve into the rise of e-learning, its benefits, and the challenges it faces in corporate training. Following this, we'll explore the HPT model in more detail, including its phases. We'll examine how HPT principles can enhance e-learning, look at strategies for implementing HPT in online learning, and review some case studies from leading companies and conclude with the key takeaways from our discussion. What is HPT? HPT is a systematic approach to improving organizational productivity. It integrates principles from various disciplines to enhance workplace performance. This can be done through a variety of ways, but is mainly a systematic approach that involves discovery, performance gap identification, design, implementation, assessment, and iteration. According to Kang and Medela, the HPT model draws from many disciplines such as psychology, economics, neuroscience, informational technology, organizational development, and many more. Therefore, the model does not simply focus on training and development, but incorporates a broad approach of performance improvement and long-term effectiveness. What about online learning in corporate environments? This is made up of several key characteristics. First, it's the fact that corporate environments are very unique. As stated earlier, corporate L&D stands out as a unique environment to deploy HPT. Unlike many educational institutions, corporate L&D focuses on much more than just knowledge transfer. The environment is much more concerned with employee skills and direct application to job responsibilities. So, simply designing learning and deploying it is not sufficient in the corporate world, as it is the job of HPT to look at the ecosystem of the performer and not just the ecosystem of the learning design, as stated by Shirovsky. This ensures that the interventions are aligned with the objectives of the organization. Secondly, corporate e-learning environments are rapid and dynamic. Technology is evolving at a rapid pace, and corporate e-learning environments are dynamically shifting as a result, making e-learning the future of professional development, and allowing for a self-paced learning environment that empowers employees to progress at their own momentum, according to Ulhak. Corporations are extremely fast-paced, and more so are demanding e-learning to adapt as well, giving rise to micro, mobile, and social learning opportunities. Not only are e-learnings expected to be fast-paced, but also to adapt to data-driven trends. According to Neela Kandan, tracking learners' performance and outcomes is an important way for leaders to measure return on investment and align to business objectives. Now, this comes with its own set of challenges, of course, such as data privacy and access. Therefore, e-learning developers must adapt to these trends and challenges to drive successful interventions. HPT and e-learning. What is the relationship between HPT and e-learning? Well, HPT and e-learning are naturally intertwined, as though a golden weave has been threaded through it. Although HPT and e-learning are distinct fields, HPT focuses on human performance in the workplace, and e-learning focuses on the use of technology to access educational content. They both are related, specifically focusing on content delivery and performance. E-learning brings to mind some familiar models such as ADDIE, Merrill's Principles of Instruction, and the Successive Approximation Model. Understanding these models can help in the successful implementation of an e-learning strategy. Similarly, in the corporate world, HPT can be influenced by processes such as Agile, Scrum, and Kanban, some common workflow paradigms used by professionals worldwide. Gap evaluation is an important part of HPT. HPT tends to focus on performance analysis by performing these targeted gap evaluations. Simply put, a gap evaluation or analysis, according to Ready Training Online, helps you identify the difference between where you need to be and where you are. This aligns very closely with the goals of online learning due to most e-learnings having some sort of gap or overlooked area. Gaps give HPT an opportunity to step in and address challenges in the delivery of online learning. This is especially vital in corporate environments due to their focus on delivering results and upskilling workforces quickly. Lastly, feedback mechanisms and iteration is a key staple of HPT's emphasis. The simplest forms of e-learning, according to Cowan, or the more sophisticated ones, absolutely need an effective feedback system in order for the learning process to work. E-learning tends to be very dynamic and fast-paced. It needs to be able to adapt quickly to changing industry standards and technological innovations. HPT's performance improvement approach is ideally set within the context of e-learning. Through ongoing iteration and learner feedback, HPT can significantly boost the value of online learning. Course creators can adjust learning and pacing based on performance and assessment. HPT also focuses on specific measurable outcomes. This is a perfect quality for corporations due to the data-driven culture that most companies embody today. Specifically, continuous improvement is key, using data for enhancements and future goals, according to Merchant, forcing leaders to often fixate on data and return on investment. Naturally, corporate e-learning will fall into that category as well, as leaders push to upskill their workforce quickly. By defining outcomes using HPT, e-learning developers can showcase specific ROI, or return on investment, for leaders, and push for the adoption of online learning company-wide. What about some strategies in online learning to implement HPT? So, how can HPT be implemented efficiently? Understanding the definitions and relationships of e-learning and HPT can help drive successful implementations. A directed approach is required to align the e-learning with overall organizational objectives. Before any kind of e-learning is launched, corporations should consider the role of collaboration in the HPT model. Different departments must work together to create applicable learning. First, one of the obstacles that might hinder training programs can be the lack of executive buy-in. Leadership buy-in is critical to the launch of an e-learning initiative, and key stakeholders must be engaged and ensure that the adoption will be smooth. Then, once leadership has approved, the buy-in trickles down to all levels of the organization, including but not limited to managers, developers, and salespeople. Once this is achieved, e-learning development can begin with a focus not only on developing the learning, but also creating a larger culture of learning and improvement. A culture of learning can impact all areas of your business, from productivity to retention, according to O'Neill. Some common strategies are to highlight learner successes and achievements via badging systems, feedback, discussions, and awards. This strategy encourages participation and promotes application of new skills in the workplace. Now, how do we design effective online interventions? There are 3 steps that are involved with this process. That is performance gaps, feedback, and deployment. First, performance gaps. There are many things that can cause performance problems in the workplace, and to properly execute an analysis of this performance, one must understand the performance gaps and how to address them. Performance gap analysis can be supported by data analysis into the learner's behaviors, challenges, and results. Understanding these is crucial to develop successful e-learnings. Without conducting a proper performance analysis, an organization risks creating e-learnings that are not relevant to the needs of the workforce. Sometimes, e-learning can tend to become a completion-based affair. Corporations are challenged with creating e-learnings that are not just test scores or completion percentages or check-the-box type of activities. They need to focus on more broad results like learner engagement and long-term change. The true measure of the ROI a corporation needs to measure is fueled by the application of newly acquired skills by the employees, according to Raul. So, how can these metrics be collected, tracked, and evaluated? While many e-learning and learning management systems, or LMS, have built-in applications or functionalities that can track and extract deeper analysis from learner performance. This allows the organization to refine and iterate on the learning and to provide a better understanding of learner needs and subsequently offer a better user experience. Next, once the performance gap is identified, the e-learning is completed and performance analysis has been done. The crucial next step is to evaluate the impact of the e-learning. This is a crucial piece of HPT that allows organizations to effectively measure whether e-learning interventions are successfully influencing on-the-job performance, according to Ola. These feedback mechanisms can be both formal and informal and provide iterative insights into the performance of the organization. First, feedback must be measured throughout the course and not just at the completion. According to Kumadaraki, the best time to ask for feedback, especially on teaching effectiveness, is when the student is engaged in your course. For example, if a course has multiple modules, embedding surveys in between them can offer feedback that can help improve later modules. Furthermore, it is vital that leadership and peers are involved in the learner journey. Regular feedback from the manager on a learner's progress or results can go a long way to providing effective training. An effective manager can accurately evaluate whether an employee has applied new skills directly and can drive performance engagement and retention and play as a key role in maximizing employees' contributions, according to Kirsch. So, not only is the learner getting feedback from the learning system itself, but the manager also uses system data to compare it to on-the-job performance. These dynamic feedback loops create a culture of learning that is constantly adapting to learner needs while keeping organizational objectives in mind. Finally, to effectively deploy performance analysis and feedback mechanisms, organizations must deploy the technology and content in a creative manner, focusing on strategic initiatives and deploying the right learning at the right time, according to Marshall. Deployment can also vary from traditional methods to methods like gamification, project, and simulations. Maximum success involves evaluating the audience, the skill set, and the authoring tool. This approach can help corporate environments specifically where the fast-paced, varying roles and responsibilities, and results-oriented culture can cause learning disengagement rather quickly. Overall, integrating HPT tools like performance analysis and feedback mechanisms can lead to more effective e-learning solutions. What about some case studies and practical insights? Some examples of HPT in the real world. We're going to talk about two of those, Amazon and Toyota. And it's one of the best ways to incorporate e-learning is to follow some successful examples from some of the world's top companies. Case studies can offer best practices and help in successful implementation. In Amazon's case, we're going to look at a study of hazmat training for European fulfillment centers. And in Toyota's case, we're going to look at the European onboarding initiative. First, let's look at Amazon. This is just one prominent example. The company has thousands of employees working in their distribution centers. This particular example focused on their European employees' need to undergo hazardous materials or hazmat training for their fulfillment center employees. One would agree that hazmat training is to be more than just a completion grade or a checkbox intervention. Amazon's problem was that their original solution was a live instructor-led training, ILT, that was highly inefficient as staff would need to be taken off the shop floor, leading to hours of reduced productivity, according to Day One Technologies. The solution presented by the e-learning team was to create engaging training content and focus on learning by doing. Specifically, the rollout was in bite-sized chunks when it suited the employees, causing less disruption and improving knowledge retention, according to Day One Technologies. HPT comes into play in this intervention and the opportunity for leaders at Amazon to effectively evaluate employees' performance improvement on the job and adapting the e-learning as it suited their needs. Another example is that of Toyota's European onboarding initiative. Onboarding is a crucial process in any company to deliver company culture and process points. For Toyota specifically, they had a need to immerse their new employees in the company's culture and core values. Toyota's core principle is customer first. So to Toyota, it is very important that new employees understand this principle and how different functions of the business work together to add value to the customer experience, according to Sponge Learning. The problem with the original approach by Toyota was that the true message was getting lost in their live orientation day presentations. There was a need for a more pointed approach that allowed new hires to effectively understand the mission of Toyota and its commitment to its customers. So, what was the solution? The solution by the e-learning team was to create an interactive video solution of the Toyota customer journey. The employees were able to move through the interactive video, click on hotspots to watch video clips with experts, take quizzes that were interspersed in the video, and check their knowledge as they go, according to Sponge Learning. So, as workplaces evolve, integrating HPT into e-learning is a crucial consideration to make. Today's rapid technological pace is forcing corporations to regularly reconsider this approach. HPT can help mitigate the fallout of these considerations by providing a holistic framework that companies can follow to upskill their employees effectively. With many organizations having extremely diverse workforces and many different roles and responsibilities, performance gap analysis becomes crucial to their planning for success. Once the gaps are addressed, effective e-learning can be developed and analyzed for iteration. Feedback mechanisms allow for the evaluation of learning and performance and real-time adaptation to suit workforce needs. This all allows for successful upskilling and on-the-job application. Thank you.